Welcome back. I'm very excited about this match. You want me to be excited about what's happening? This standard match here on Top Deck Productions at GameSwap Mason. This match is what I've been waiting for all night. We got Erik on the Gruul deck, which is a deck that has been very close on my eyeballs.
Close on the eyeballs.
Close to the eyeballs. And Luke with his version of Mardu control. We'll see what he came up with. I hope this Gruul deck is good. As much as I like playing the red deck, having the Gruul deck as like another alternative is going to be a really nice change of pace. The other thing I want to point out Erik did here was he put the Gruul deck in the Gruul sleeves. I hardly ever do that. I'll always put my decks in like the Gruul deck belongs in Azoria sleeves in my mind.
The world is a vampire.
Set to drain, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, Luke's got an interesting one here. He's also a Mardu control, but it's a very different list. He showed me the deck list beforehand. Some exciting stuff. Erik is on a little bit more of a stock list in Gruul, but it's very powerful. So
yeah.
It should be interesting to see.
Here's a Wild Growth Walker to lead things off, and going to our fourth turn. More land.
Notably, from both of the control lists, or the Mardu control lists we've seen, they're not playing settles, which I agree with, but might be against conventional wisdom. How do you feel about this one?
This is the
Sunder?
They printed these
Sunder Shaman.
These cycles where every guild got a 4 mana, 2 of 2 colors, 2 of the other.
Yeah.
Guy, and I think this is the worst one of all of them.
Well, you're wrong.
The Orzhov one might be worse.
Okay, so you've mentioned two of the 4 that have seen play.
Did somebody play the Orzhov one in Constructed?
Yeah, it was in that Esper mid-range deck that top-8'd the Open.
Really?
Really?
I just feel like that does not seem nearly as powerful to me as...
As what?
Like the Demir one was super good and limited.
In limited, sure, but not in Constructed.
All right, well... I play one way. Oh, I guess they did play 4 Basilica Bellhaunt.
Yeah, card's a house.
When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and you gain 3 life. For a 3/4, just its stats are bad. So here's the dragon with Riot, and it looks like he's got Haste is the chosen ability.
Interesting that Luke chose to tick up instead of ticking down to get this Vraska's Contempt.
Sure.
Should tell Erik that there's not another Karn in the wings.
Or maybe he's just trying to level him.
Yeah.
See, because if he ticks down here, he could be indicating that there's another Karn in the wings, or be trying to get Erik to play into Settle.
True. We have noted that he doesn't have Settle, though.
Yeah, no, we said it.
Yes, we did.
But I don't know that Erik is aware of that.
Correct.
All right, glad we're on the same page about those things.
Vraska's Contempt is a clean answer to Rekindling Phoenix. Not a lot of those these days. Clean answers to Rekindling Phoenix, not Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah, I think Vraska's Contempt is still...
Mortify, very nice. He's a little bit flooded here.
Mortify's going to keep him alive. They're going to keep the damage off for another turn.
You're going to like this. I would have probably minused Karn right off the bat.
Yeah?
To create a construct.
Mortify. The Magic player rewards Mortify, which they used to send out textless spells every so often.
Nice one.
They showed up in your mailbox.
Nice bird.
All right, here's Jade Light Ranger. So Eric's gone with the Wild Growth Jade Light combo in this Gruul deck.
Yeah, an Explore package is pretty important for any mid-range deck.
Okay.
The Theater of Horrors is down.
Now this one is one you've mentioned it, but boy is it a card people are just ready to build around.
Yeah, so anytime you get extra cards per turn, it's something worth exploring. And in this case,
Yeah, go on. Tell me more.
in this case,
I'm not the one making puns all over the place, man.
I get you. The downside is pretty insignificant. Do we have a Vivian off camera? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there's one off the bottom there.
I was just like, why is he looking at the top cards of his library? It doesn't make any sense.
Here's a rhythm. And let's see what the rhythm gives us. So
So we're gonna resolve explores first.
well, no, you choose this before explores it comes into play ability, and the rhythm, the riot has to be chosen before it comes into play because it reads it comes into play with. So you're gonna resolve the riot first, and then the rhythm,
The riot and the
or
rhythm.
then the
The
explore.
rhythm and the riot.
So yeah, Theater of Horrors, and it looks like Eric's finally got some traction to to push in some damage here. So yeah, the Theater is gonna slowly but surely build up some card advantage here for Luke.
So you might think that multiple theaters is redundant. They don't play well with each other. But like having that option is almost like filtering. Luke's at 13. You need to be careful here.
Yeah, it's almost like having Scry 1. It's a little better than having Scry 1 probably.
Yeah, because you still get those other cards. You get to choose which hand you want to keep.
Right.
But here we are. We've decided to deploy the second theater instead of holding up this lightning strike.
And we're going to take a bunch of damage here from these
It might just be dead.
Gruul creatures. Yep. Here's another one. It's probably going to gain haste from the rhythm.
Now, if we have a second creature.
3 more.
Yeah,
There's a Spellbreaker.
It's going to get the counter and the haste.
It's got Riot
So
twice.
that's damage. That's game. Yeah.
Yep.
So Luke a little bit flooded there, but you're going to need to have some value in your deck, in your draw specifically, if you want to combat this Gruul Creatures deck on like a 1-to-1 basis with your removal. And we just didn't see that from Luke.
Right. We saw how the Gruul creatures deck was able to curve out really nicely. And even at the beginning where he was applying this very minimal pressure of just a Wild Growth Walker and a Land Elf attacking,
Yeah.
eventually it overcame.
So that pressure wasn't an issue. It was more that like Luke had too many turns where he couldn't do anything versus Eric's board presence, which at that time included a Vivian.
Yeah.
And then he's just getting 2 cards a turn. Luke's getting 1 card a turn. And just 1 for winning.
Yep.
Eric taking the Galtas out or putting Galtas in. Unknown. I got to test a list with Galta in it against Justin.
Yeah. I imagine a Riotous Galta is pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. One thing I underestimated about playing deck with Galta in it, I'd played against Galta decks obviously in the past, but I've never played a deck with Galta. is just how quickly you need to worry about like whether or not you can play it.
Okay.
Because there were a couple times where I could have played it
And you just didn't?
because I wasn't even thinking of it. Like I was like, okay, Galta, I can't cast this yet, but you know,
Right.
how can I maximize damage this turn? And turns out I could have just like ran out there for 4, bashed.
Yeah, and sometimes like you can cast it on turn 4, but then like they do something and you can't cast it on turn 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like you got to take your Galtas when they come. Make hay while the sun shines.
Something like that, for sure.
For sure. All right, so Erik up a game here.
Is Gruul your favorite guild?
In all of Magic? Okay, so probably.
Okay. That's all I need.
All right.
Don't you dare explain.
Sorry.
Is Gruul your favorite burning bush?
Well,
Just a yes or no will suffice.
no. No, there's other burning bushes I enjoy much more.
All right.
So, generally, sideboarded matchups favor control decks because they've had a chance to see what they're up against.
Take out the bad ones, put in the good ones.
They can take out the bad ones. They can bring in answers that are more honed and specified for the threats that are coming at them. So yeah, those are important things.
Also, defense wins championships, and other lies you can tell yourself.
Other lies you can tell yourself. I don't think, not this year in the NFL does defense win championships.
I don't think defense ever actually wins championships, but
Really?
yeah, I think that's
Okay.
a myth. I also don't think that sideboarded games favor the controlled match all that much,
Okay.
because aside from like knowing what threats you have to be able to answer, the proactive decks get tools to deal with your answers, which aren't main deckable, like duress and things like that. Obviously not in this case.
Cindervines is the one in this case.
Cindervines is going to be good here if Erik has it in his sideboard, which he should, and if he decides to sideboard it in, which he also should. But aside from that, you also know what to play around.
Sure.
So that game from Luke, he didn't see a whole lot, honestly. He saw a couple planeswalkers, a planeswalker rather,
Right.
and a couple of big spot removal spells, but he didn't see any wraths. You could probably assume that they're in there or that they're being sideboarded in. But he was able to presumably bring in this Carnage Tyrant. He knows that these Rekindling Phoenixes are better. He can make better judgments based on what he's seen.
I don't know if Erik has 3 lands in his hand. I saw a mountain, a rootbound crag, and there might be a forest. He's moving too much. But if he kept a 2-lander here, I don't think it's good.
How about a 2-lander with a Branch Walker? Oh, a Wild Growth Walker, even better.
I'm not a fan of this card in this deck, to be completely honest. I don't hate the Explore creatures, but this guy just benefiting from the Explore guys, not something I'm into. He did keep the 2-lander. And he didn't attack. So, there it is. Here's a Wrath on turn 4.
Yeah, just a Kai's
All right,
Wrath on turn 4.
that's aggressive.
So I think you need to. I think you have to run Wild Growth Walker in this deck. You might not like it, but that's what peak performance looks like.
Okay.
These red decks are just too good and too fast. You playing, like a Gruul Spellbreaker is insane against control, but
Right, it dies to a Lightning Strike against, and
Right.
they're ahead on mana, and they've already been doing other things ahead of that too. So.
right.
All right. Erik has now run out of juice.
Yeah, Erik's run out of 2 drops and hasn't drawn 3rd land yet.
He got tons of 5s though.
Here's a Basilica Bellhaunt.
Here's a card I don't love very much, but it's super good, apparently.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say super good. It's solid.
Here's the third mana. See, now if I had Jade Light Ranger here, I wouldn't feel bad about keeping that 2-lander.
He does have a Jade Light Ranger here.
So maybe it was just one of those hands where the payoff was big enough. But it's not like he had the double green to... Yeah, you gotta keep hunting those lands, my friend. It's not like he had the double green in hand to cast the Jade Light.
Right.
His plan was to go Wild Growth into
Jade Light.
Jade Light, but he had to draw non-mountain land, non-basic mountain land. So I don't know how many of those he had in his deck.
Thunder Shaman down. Wonder if Kyle Palmer talked Erik into playing those Thunder Shamans. He was trying to get me to, or was talking to me about playing them in his Gruul deck.
Yeah.
And kept advocating it while I was playing against the Nexus deck. I told him it was probably just too cute and that Ferox was better.
So Thunder Shaman deals combat damage to target player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. So you get to destroy the
Wilderness Reclamation.
Wilderness Reclamation if you attack with it once.
But you're like 90% to win that game anyway.
Yeah.
At least pre-board.
I wouldn't play it for the second line of text. If you just want a 5/5, if you're just trying to get the biggest guy on every point, you still don't play it. You still don't play it because you play the Ferox, right?
If you want the easiest card to cast most consistently, you definitely don't play it.
Right. All right, here's a Rekindling Phoenix as Erik's last card in hand as the Angrath chips away.
Yeah, Erik's not going to do much this game. Luke's trying to think about sneaking in 3 damage here. He's got a Lightning Strike in hand. He's got a Bedevil in hand. That's 2 Lightning Strikes. Oh, he's just dead. So we get a plus here.
Or does he just negative take it all and Lightning Strike him?
And he just gets a plus and then double Lightning Strike you. Or we just... Oh, I thought we just killed the Phoenix. No, we killed him. Good.
Interesting.
Okay.
So are we looking at, like, we just watched Angrath, like, manhandle these 2 decks. Is it an Angrath format?
I think, like I said when we first saw Angrath, I think Angrath is very good. I don't think Angrath did anything particularly special there. Erik just had a really bad keep and got punished for it.
Sure.
I won't say really bad keep. It was an ambitious keep.
Yes.
But it was probably on the fence, especially if he had the Branch Walker in hand.
Sure. Absolutely.
But if he did, he got really greedy by playing the Branch Walker on turn 2 instead of, or the Wildgrowth Walker on turn 3 with 2 lands instead of the Branch Walker.
Sure. Still like this Gruul Creatures deck. I don't know if I'd have to see a lot more matchups with it to be convinced to play it.
So nobody's trying to sell you anything. If you like the deck, play it.
Oh, I know. But
If you don't like the deck, go take a hike.
here's the thing.
There's the door.
Here's the thing.
There's the door.
There's a lot of...
Here's the thing. There's the door.
Are you done?
Maybe.
Okay.
Might have another one.
There's a
It
lot...
would just be one more, though.
There's a lot of decks that I like, you know, quote unquote,
Yeah?
that I just know are not good to play. And I've played those, I've done that in my past and been like, oh yeah, this deck looks so cool. And it's either like a deck that like I shouldn't be playing personally or just shouldn't be played at all because it's not very good.
Sure.
And I'm just much better picking up an aggressive deck, enjoying what that is as a thing.
Yeah, I like playing strange decks too, and often do. There's the Cinder Vines.
Here's
that
the
we're waiting
Cinder
on.
Vines. This is hopefully going to go a long way.
Yeah, this is going to do a lot of damage to Luke if he's not careful. And look at that hand.
He's
got
got
multiple
shocks in it.
hand.
Yeah. So Nervines has a lot of different text on it. It's one of those cards that just makes you say trigger a lot. Trigger. Right there, you can't miss it, right? That goes in your hand regardless. Do it again. Did he just
scry one or explore one?
All right.
All right. Well, I guess we can resolve things poorly.
Is this a
Sunder Shaman?
the Sunder Shaman?
Oh, we've got a Mortify for
Trigger.
the Cinder Vines. Very nice.
So Cinder Vines has done at least 2 damage for 2 mana, and gone 1-for-1 on a card.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great. I like Karn Plus here. It's going to save you a lot of damage. And you really want a second black source.
Right, Luke agrees. Here's Karn. Here's the plus to 6. Probably earning the lightning strike here. I don't know. It might be good to give him the theater.
Well, he has 1 black source, so he could run that out there.
I'm just saying he's already got like the source of card advantage, so casting the theater isn't like a huge bonus. Like, how many cards do you need? At some point, drawing, you know,
Right.
you just can't cast them all.
So I would give him the theater if I was attacking Luke, but if you can kill the Karn here, you absolutely have to.
Sure.
There's the second black source. Couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Here we go. Let's do this. Let's dance.
So we've got a Bedevil and a Lightning Strike we could deploy here to clean up this board.
Lightning strike. The 3/3.
And then we get to sit on this Bedevil.
Just hang back. You might get to bedevil a Hellkite, which is way better than bedeviling this ground guy.
Maybe.
No, we'll just bedevil the ground guy. Good choice, Luke. Don't take too much damage. All right, Jade Light.
Oh, it's going to get shocked too.
All
Keeping
right.
a Carnage Tyrant on top. Keeping Carnage on top is scary for Luke. I don't know how many answers he has to that.
All right.
Well, there's an Angrath. I'll do a good job of killing this Jade Light Ranger if he really wants it, and I believe he does.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do with Angrath this turn.
Just kill a guy.
Take
Tap over
3. You know, we know next turn, Eric's going to at least cast. He's got 5 mana. Oh no, he's got all 6 and plays the forest. And so plussing this Angrath is going to get you a card, which is good. And
Maybe save you a bunch of damage, which is also good.
right. And Vraska's Contempt, not very amazing here.
No, it's not going to pull its weight here at all.
No, we need the Wrath. That's the card we need.
A Wrath, or he's got the Orzhov split card.
Oh, where he doubles his life total and halves his opponent?
No, the good one.
They're all good and limited, so I know them all as good ones.
I understand that you are the arena master. Consecrate, consume. The back half of that is like a Crackling Doom where you gain life,
Yeah?
and that's really what he's going for here. Oh, a second Carnage Tyrant? Yikes.
Yeah, target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power amongst the creatures they control. You gain life equal to its power. Holy smokes.
I have 4 wraths. Where they at?
Here's a bellhop.
He's looking. He's looking.
Lyra, that would have been nice.
Oh, he just wanted that Lyra. All right.
Man, and Eric's just play a large man every turn plan was successful.
Let me just play the biggest guy I can every turn.
I have 3 of these.
I'm going to play the biggest guy in the format every time you give me the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Luke's take on Mardu control, I think, is a little bit better than Bryce's.
Yeah?
I like Bryce's treasure maps more.
Yeah, Luke's, I was noticing Luke's was very top heavy. Like, things got started at 4, and you were doing great things at 4, but that's really the only thing that was...
Well, Luke had shocks and lightning strikes in his deck to take out early creatures, which we didn't see from
Bryce.
Bryce.
Okay.
Instead, Bryce has treasure maps, which I like in this type of deck. You definitely want some kind of selection, and then the card draw late game is important.
Something I noticed, I didn't watch a ton of coverage, but I saw a couple of Is It matches. Those decks were going towards Shivan Fire in place of Shock. You know, Shock's very rarely going to the Dome in these control decks, where Shivan Fire, you know, having that second mode of dealing 4.
Yeah, it's very relevant. I spoke to Luke a little bit before the match, and the shock sometimes goes to the Dome in the late game to turn on Theater 4s for the cheap.
Okay.
Which is relevant, obviously, but
Well, what
Yeah.
I like about theater is that it gives you.
yeah, interesting stuff. I think I like Theater 4s more in an aggressive deck, but definitely would be willing to watch a couple more matches of Luke's before I made a final
Yeah,
judgment on that.
that's fair. That's
Sure.
Fair, but like, I'm not really counting on this. I seldom doubt.
Yeah, I would might even rename this deck to Theater of Horrors Control. Because it seems like he's leaning on that and or Karn to gain the kind of card advantage the control deck needs to stay in games.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like I get what you're saying.
I don't know that I would rename the deck,
I could try it.
Oh,
but sure.
I
He does lean hard on it.
I think we need to become
I don't know. I had
much more flamboyant with our deck names.
I had 9 cards that could help me there, and I couldn't find.
Okay.
Needed
I
one
would
of my
agree
Fortnite's rats,
in that I want more nonsensical deck names. I don't want somebody to know what I'm playing when you tell them what deck I'm playing.
I had 10
Oh, you want to gatekeep the deck naming
Yeah,
technology?
give me tin fins.
Tin Fin. Yes, we've got a Tin Fin's Nick Fit
just cycling.
semi-mirror.
Versus the Four Horsemen and the Full English Breakfast.
Full English breakfast.
Those were really the golden days of deck.
Of
naming.
deck names. Like, so, yeah. What
And
was
then
the,
that one guy ruined it for us.
what one guy?
I don't remember what his name was.
You know when it really started to get ruined? When Delver got printed,
Mhm.
and it was just like Rug Delver, and then it was like, this
Bug
was,
Delver.
what?
Bug Delver.
Yeah, Bug Delver, Rug Delver, 4-color Delver. Like, they stopped, like, differentiating, like, what the different decks were doing.
Mhm.
And this was before Shards block, so we didn't, like, have names for the Shards. There was no teamer.
Delver was after Shards.
Or it was before Khan's block,
Correct.
which
You
gave
did
us
have
the
names.
last 5 wedge names, the wedge names.
I mean, you could have called them by any number of things that would have been relevant and descriptive, but
Yeah.
we got rugs and bugs. There was a deck list. It was a modern Pro Tour,
Okay.
and somebody turned in a deck list that was, jeez, it was an infect deck that ran Golgari Thug that they named Bugs and Thugs, and they stopped letting people name their decks after that.
What? Why? Bugs and Thugs? That's a great nickname.
Okay.
Like, they named a card Golgari Thug.
I understand.
Are you saying it's racist?
It definitely has. That's definitely why they stopped letting people name their cards.
Okay. I'm just saying if you're going to name a card Golgari Thug, and I can't name my deck Thugs, you know,
maybe you're the problem.
Oh, am I? Okay, I'm the problem.
No, I'm saying maybe they're the problem for naming their
Oh,
card
sure.
Thug. But yes, I agree that nonsensical deck names were much better than these boring sense-making. Just the word thug has a racial connotation to it.
Yeah, it's coded language for sure.
So, I mean, you could say it's borderline, but it's 100% really.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's been co-opted by racists. We'll put it that way.
I
Which happens a lot right now. Hydroid grasses.
oh there's
Did you just do a Google search for thugs?
no, I did a gatherer search for thugs.
Even worse.
No, not worse. I'm just saying there's other thugs in Magic. Listen, there was the one, and then we're like, okay, we punted on that one, fine. But they printed one after Golgari Thug in the next Ravnica block.
Or if
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So
I don't know, stuck
all
on,
kinds of thugs running around Ravnica,
I'm stuck on land.
co-opting good deck names. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, I have a problem with all racism on all fronts, and that is it's insidious. It weaseled its way into even our humble world of deck naming.
Yes.
But yeah, so now we get like Mardu Control, Mardu Midrange. There's a lot of deck names from this weekend that had the word midrange in
Yeah,
them.
coming out of the Dominaria, the Dominaria Pro Tour, where it was red-black mid-range, red-black aggro, red-black combo, red-black chain whirler, and they were all the same deck, like within 70 cards. It was like,
All
right.
right, you win, guys.
diverse format, you got us.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that these names aren't very descriptive. They're
They
just
try to be descriptive and they fail.
they're descriptive of on what turns you want to cast cards. So
Okay.
I feel like just mid-range deck means we're gonna cast cards on turns 2 through 5, and if we lose by turn 7, the control deck got us. Aggro decks mean we're gonna cast cards on turns 1 through 4. Control decks mean we're gonna cast cards on turns 6 through infinite.
Okay. I agree with your numbers, but sure. Or I disagree with your numbers.
Yeah,
but
right. Yeah, I was spitballing.
Yeah, go ahead and spitball.
Didn't do a full analysis of the format.
Yeah, didn't break it down. Didn't run the numbers.
Didn't run the numbers.
Rookie mistake, honestly.
Yeah, so we've got Magic Fest Cleveland coming up.
Yeah, we've got other stuff coming up before that.
Oh,
Not
yeah?
for us personally, but
What's before that?
there's like 3 Grand Prix and 3 Opens before that.
In the standard format?
No, but Grand Prix Cleveland's not saying
Right, the Grand Prix Cleveland is limited for sure.
yes.
I
I think we have Memphis, which is a week before the standard.
Okay. That's I don't know whether we're gonna play in the limited Grand Prix. My sealed deck game has been pretty bad lately, so I might just be honed in on playing standard.
Well, you better play some standard beforehand.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm trying to do the analysis on, as to whether or not I should be playing
Whether or
and
not you
practicing.
Use racially co-opted words
What?
in your deck list.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't.
That's the analysis that you're doing, though. Is all I'm saying.
I don't intend on using.
I can't make any promises. Can't make any promises, but I don't intend on doing it.
I won't.
Are you gonna let me proofread it?
Obviously, absolutely. I will not use coded language on my deck list sheets or anywhere, really.
You've come a long way.
We're all trying to grow as humans.
That's true.
So yeah, I just want to be ready for anything come Cleveland because there's so many great events going on at the fest.
Do we know? Do we have a program of what's going on there?
That's a great question. Are any of you guys going up to the Magic Fest in Cleveland? I know a lot of our listeners, viewers, are in the Greater Cincinnati area or have at one point in time lived in Ohio.
Or Italy?
Or Italy. Shout outs to Italy. You're welcome to come to Ohio. It's cold here.
We wouldn't recommend it, but
No, I would imagine that like rural Italy is just way better than Mason, Ohio.
okay. Fewer Magic players, probably.
Fewer Magic players. We're basically in like suburban Cincinnati, so there's like nothing out here. It's like strip malls and Magic players. So do you have a schedule of events pulled up?
I don't know. I'm looking to see. You nice little Zagata playmat if you play in the main event.
Oh.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Would prefer to just pay $10 less and not get the playmat.
Yeah.
I loved when they made the playmat an option.
I didn't.
I didn't like when they made a playmat an option, but you had to register before X day.
Okay.
Got burned on that one.
Got burned.
Um,
All right, so there's going to be. That's all weekend. So Friday. We're going to look into this. We'll talk about it next round.
yeah, we're going to.
I don't want to stare at my phone on this thing, but
Right.
there's a lot to digest here.
A lot
so.
to take in. We'll talk about it. We'll be back. We're going to go take a break. We got one match remaining.
Probably about 5 minutes.
You guys
We'll be
playing
back.
Gates, so we'll see.
Oh. We'll see.